Hello and welcome to What Are You Saying? #Ways, where we talk about topics in the news as it affects us all. I am Oluwadamilola Ibitoye and I am joined by my amazing co-anchor, Glory. Hi, Glory.
Hello.
You look fabulous.
Thank
I
you.
like your color combo. Green and lemon is giving, I don't know, but it's giving life. It's giving nature. It's
That's
really
the
giving.
whole idea.
Right,
Yeah.
our fashionista.
Yeah, someone was just telling me that he's come to discover that green is my favorite color. I'm like, yeah.
Right, yeah, because I remember, I think our shoots sometime back,
Yeah,
this was your
same.
color combo
You know, I
too.
did not even notice until recently when my attention was brought to it. I was like, oh, okay, that's fine.
Love
Yeah.
it for you. How are you? How was your day? How's your week
I'm
been?
good. Like, it's been a busy week, but unlike the usual, I still feel so pumped up. I feel so positive. I'm just like in that good mental space that irrespective of what's happening, I'm just still like happy, putting on my smile, just trying to stay positive. Yeah.
I'm glad that you are actually, because the truth is that there's so much going on right now in the country and in our individual lives, and the best we can actually do for ourselves
Sis,
is to stay positive.
if you're still thinking about what's going on, it's never going to end. So like, you just have to look at
I
it
was
to
just
keep the energy
ranting to my
going.
friend that came to pay me a visit at work. I was telling them, I said, see, this adulthood thing, I wish I could just opt out. Because the thing that when we were growing up, we're saying, oh, I want to be an adult.
I want to grow up.
Now that
right
we've
now.
grown up, I'm like, no, can we reverse? Can we just take back all the things that we say? You're trying to deal with family, you're trying to deal with relationships, you're trying to deal with friendships, you're trying to deal with your own self. Like yesterday, yesterday was like a roller coaster for me. God, it was not even funny. First, I woke up to my charger not working. I'm like, how now? But I used this charger yesterday night. Why is it not working? And then, unfortunately for me, it had then spoiled my second phone, which has now made me, in the middle of this, my generator had fault. I say, okay. You say, I say, my village people, they are really working overtime, but no, I know that God passed them. God really passed them. I'm really glad that you're here anyway, and you're really staying positive.
Yeah.
It's good to know. It's good to know. So here's what we found as today's quote. The price of success is hard work, dedication to the job at hand, and the determination that whether we win or lose, we have applied the best of ourselves to the task. Apologies to the Gen Zs, but then, especially the Gen Zs, whenever I see them wanting to, grow up or scale up so big and become big, and they're not ready to do the hard work, I'm like, how do you think the people that are up there that you're looking up to, how do you think they got there? They didn't get there by wishing. They literally got there by doing the work.
Yeah.
It took a lot of determination, a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of things.
I just hope that like this generation of young stars, of course, we are all like within that era, like we get to realize that it really does take hard work. So, that's one thing with social media. Like when people keep seeing all the glams and glamour, it's just like it's so easy. So people are just feeling like it's just easy. Some of these people like showing off now, it took them time, years to get to that point.
It did.
But some of us youngsters, like right now, when we see all of these things, it's just like, okay, how do we start pressuring ourselves? We don't want to go through that process. And the truth is like, you can actually like have that quick success or something like that, but to even make it sustainable, to have a success that outlives you,
it takes a lot of hard work.
It takes a lot of hard work. Like you need to know, you need to put in the work and smart work too, because you can work hard, but if you're not working smart,
you just
probably
keep working
not,
and working and working and get nothing in return. Truly, and the truth is, because the later part of this quote says that even when you don't probably, whether you win or you lose, right? You are at rest and you're at peace because you know that you put in your best foot.
Yeah.
Most people just think, oh, what if I put in my best foot and it still doesn't work? What will happen? The truth is, you never really know until you actually try.
Yeah,
so yes, I think I agree with this quote. And this quote was by Vince Lombardi. Yeah, I hope I pronounced that name well anyway. So yeah, moving on. In a rapid evolving business landscape, SMEs are not just adapting. They are thriving by seizing new avenues for growth and innovation. From leveraging technology to tapping into niche markets, Nigerian SMEs are at forefront of driving economic development and creating jobs. So tonight, we will be discussing the topic, Emerging Market Opportunities for SMEs, with Victoria Madedo. And when we open our phone lines, we'll love to hear what you have to say. But first, let's take a break and see what we found in the news. You're still watching Ways. World Intellectual Property Day is a day dedicated to promoting the role of intellectual property in stimulating innovation and creativity. This day is an opportunity to raise awareness about the need for a balanced approach to intellectual property protection that takes into account the rights of creators and copyright holders, as well as the public interest. Yes, because I see a lot of intellectual property thefts going on, especially, I don't know if it's peculiar to just Nigeria, but taking Nigeria as a case study, happens a lot in Nigeria, because somebody is coming out to say, oh, you stole my song, or you stole my work, or you stole my something, 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 something like that. So I think that I like that there's actually a day dedicated for intellectual property, because the truth is that one thing that intellectual property does, it's really, really stimulates innovation and creativity, because every creative now is aiming to, you know, surpass what they've done before and putting their best foot forward, because the market is quite saturated as well, you know. So there are a lot of people in the industry, and everybody's fighting for their head to say, okay, I'm the best at what I do and all that. So when there's literally a protection, it helps, so that people are not just working and they feel like, I'll just do the work now, and then somebody will come and take the glory from behind. Did you get that kind of thing? So it's really good. It definitely stimulates innovation and creativity, and of course it aids research. You know, people are not just lazy and saying, let me just go and pick something from the internet, and just, there's actual deliberate research put into it, because you would like to actually own your intellectual property and not sell it off to someone. I
think like it's a very important day, especially like in Nigeria. I think we still need to be educated on this intellectual property and copyright, patents, all of that. Especially because we're talking today about emerging markets. So one of the emerging markets also, like that's this content creation and talent industry, and these are things that people do. You have to be authentic, original, and people can easily like copyright some of these things. You find even content creators say, this person stole my ideas, songs and everything. I think it's both ways. Both the people bringing in innovative ideas, they need to be educated on how to protect their original ideas, and as well as people that are involved in stealing intellectual property, they also have to be aware of the consequences of that, because really in more developed economies, there are serious both financial consequences when you're taking people's intellectual property without their approval. So it's a very important day, and I feel like, we still need to get to that point where there is more awareness and we're talking about this more.
I agree. All right, so Glory, what did you find for us in the news today?
I think I saw this, I don't know, I think it was in our group chat or something yesterday, so I saw a follow-up conversation, write-up on it in the news today. So it says it's about Yahaya's, it's about Bello's school fees, children's school fees and all of it. It's just a follow-up news. So it says the American International School of Abuja has asked the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission to provide authentic banking details for the refund of fees paid for the children of Bello immediate past, and the immediate past governors of Kogi State. Yes. So he says that he allegedly paid $720,000 in advance as fees for 5 of his children from the coffers of the Kogi State government. The children are in grade level 2 to 8 and school. So this is just like, I have a couple of questions, like, why is the school coming out now when like it's become an issue? That's number one. I feel like that's hypocritical. Yes, that's number one. And like, I know this trended yesterday, but I'm still looking at this like this. Is it because I don't have this money? It's like, what? Pardon my French. What?
I know what you mean. I mean, it's rather
right?
ridiculous. It's actually rather ridiculous that anybody would even do that at all. And I agree with you when you say it's quite hypocritical for the school to then come out, because easily, maybe, I mean, if you look at it on the other hand, they are just trying to also clear themselves, or clear their names. You know, so that when push comes to shove, they're not coming to say, oh, the school should be locked down or something.
That school and know the other people that are paying these huge sums of money.
No, because it's really ridiculous. And I truly believe that it's not just Yahaya Bello that's doing this. Him,
of course.
Yeah, but for all we know, we'll just leave the EFCC to actually do their jobs.
They should do a good job.
And do a good job. Yeah,
so out.
we are actually hoping.
They should make us proud.
Yeah, right. Well, but I think that the EFCC chairman actually, it comes off as someone who really knows what he's doing and who is willing to actually do the work, not just talk. So we can only hope that really and truly he does the job and he does it well. Anyway, so what I found for us in the news today is it's quite a relatable story, because growing up, so there's been this whole bullying conversation going on around, right? So, which is what even bettered this particular tweet from this person. So, growing up, a lot of us, whether we admit it or not, experience parents bullying. Is it that you're saying you want to do something, and then your maybe mom or dad is saying, no, you cannot do that thing. This is what I want you to do. Do you get what I'm saying? Imagine you as a child. If it happened to me,
and me too.
I remember I said I wanted to be a makeup artist. My dad refused outrightly and said, no, I'm not going to any makeup school. I was just like, but it's a skill that I'm not saying I'm not going to do other things with myself. And even if I want to build a career in makeup artistry, I don't think it's a problem, because there are a lot of makeup artists that are actually doing well currently in the country.
No, though.
You know,
it takes someone with foresight to have seen that.
Thank God for Tara Durotoye. I mean, she was one that opened everybody's eyes to see that, okay, makeup is actually a thing and it's an industry that we can actually buy into, you know. But I mean, a lot of us actually experience this. But let me read this story. So so I'll just go straight to what he said. Anyway, he said, when I was 15, I got scouted to play for a team in Melbourne, Australia. 2 weeks to leave for Melbourne. One fateful Sunday, my mom came home from church and was yelling at me. So I hissed at her and she became furious. Typical Nigerian mother, right? Then she started yelling, is it because you want to go abroad now that you're hissing at me? Come and go now, let me see you. I have to tame you before you go. You know, so what she did in a nutshell, she then went into his room, took all the travel documents, and then burnt it out of anger. Now, it's the boy father went ahead to say, although he has forgiven his mom, but then it changed the trajectory of his life. Because for all we know, he could have thrived so much in what he was going for in Melbourne. But then, because of the anger of a mother, right, she just destroyed the opportunity. I know when this guy came up to say his story, a lot of more people started saying on Twitter that, oh, yeah, I also experienced this. I also experienced, I mean, me, I've shared my own now. I'm sure you have your story now. So, I mean, I think this is just a call to, I believe that parents of this generation, that's we now, when we become parents, I believe that we're going to do better. Right? We're not going to make the same mistakes that our parents made, because our parents made so many mistakes. I wish that a lot of parents had allowed their children to actually be who they wanted to be. The truth is that you really never know. Even they as adults, most of them, they do try and error. It's just like when you're getting on a job, you're just, okay, this is the job that is available now. I can do it and it's going to pay my bills, so why not? Do you get what I'm saying? So life is basic. No, there's no rule book to life, right? Life is just try and error. We try it. If it works, all well and good. If it doesn't work, we leave it and move on to something else, or see how we can do it better. You know, but then trying to lord over, because the person is your child, that you want to lord over their decision-making processes and all that. I mean, I believe that parents are there to guide their decision-making process, not to lord over it. But in this part of the world,
I'm pretty sure, like,
if she goes
through this, she'll probably also have, like, her regrets.
She does. I mean, from the story, she actually does have her regrets. But then, can it undo what has already been done? It's literally crying over spilled milk, because whether I would like it or not, it has literally altered the trajectory of that boy's life. For all we know as well, we had to do what he had to do if he would have succeeded. We don't know. But the truth is that he was never given a chance to even try. And you lose 100% of the opportunity you don't even take at all. So, I mean, I hope that as parents, we can do better for our kids, and our generation should please change the narrative and not lord over our children's decision-making process. We're only there to actually guide them, not to lord over them. Anyway, so we'll go on a very quick break, and when we come back, we'll dive straight into the conversation.
The fact is, truly, we've never had stable power. It's just like talking about financial literacy. I don't have money, so I should learn about money.
Exactly.
In the same vein, I don't have lights, and you're talking about me effectively managing lights. When I have power, I'm excited.
Exactly.
Put everything on.
Right.
We all turn to ice block. Let there be light. Right? So sometimes it feels like there is a tunnel vision around the challenges and the realities. Then you just pick one minute part of it and you hold on to it. It doesn't say that the thing you said is not valid, but there's context, right? So the challenges that we're facing today, we've kicked the can down the road for so long. Everything has now come to roost all at the same time. Plus subsidy on power, plus electricity, plus exchange rate. So the Nigerian consumer, let me not say the poor Nigerian consumer, the Nigerian consumer right.
Why don't you start from where that manufacturing is happening? If you need to set up was that do not allow this, so it means that the farmers don't have to. They just take the raw their goods, go and process it in a generalized plant that then eventually brings down the cost. So nobody is setting up their individual processing plants. There are countries that have done that.
Thank you for staying with us. You're still watching Ways. So our conversation for today, Glory, is quite an interesting one to me because I love the SME space. Not even because maybe there's a show called SME Chat, but no. I just really love the SME space. So I imagine markets opportunities are opening up for SMEs to explore and capitalize on. For renewable energy to rural. So our conversation has only just begun, and we are eager to dive deeper into SMEs, into how SMEs rather can propel towards sustainable growth and success in emerging markets. Tonight, we are discussing emerging a business development consultant. Please let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-8038-4663. I'll take that again. A little gist here and there about this conversation, Glory. What do you think about the emerging market opportunities for SMEs?
So like I was just like doing my little research about all of this, and one thing like some years, then again, because I'm in like the creative space, I also want to talk about like that sector. It's a sector that's really, really gaining momentum. And like, especially when we talk about a music industry, another aspect of like the creative entertainment.
Thank you for joining us on our great show today. We're discussing emerging market opportunities for SMEs. So can you give us a very brief, very quick introduction to the emerging market opportunities for SMEs, please?
Okay, I'll start with the agricultural space because that's where my sector. Now we're into markets that are more focused on consumer preference. So we're having exotic foods or medicinal foods, health-focused foods as new markets that are emerging based on consumer preferences in the agricultural space. While in the creative space, we're seeing things more like entertainment that are short and specific to the Gen Z, Gen Alpha that helps youth socialization outside of social media borders. For the poultry sector, people are exporting into new markets like Niger, Burkina Faso, Mali, Cameroon, and the like within the border, and even as far as Gabon and Gambia. Right? So there are a lot of things that are happening in alpha trend at the moment.
Thank you very much, Victoria. So I'd like to ask a very quick question because there are some trends that are literally shaping the emerging markets. You know, we have the adaptation of digital technologies has really helped to shape the market, the emerging markets for the SMEs, right? We also have, you know, I think the government is also trying to, you know, look away from just agriculture now. They're trying to focus on some other ways to, get revenue into the country instead of just focusing on agriculture. So with that being said, how do you think that the emerging market trends are actually impacting SMEs in Nigeria?
Okay, so if we're looking at tech adaptation, as SMEs, it is not a product in itself for SMEs. When we're looking at growth in the real sector, right? So most of these SMEs are leveraging this technology to become better, to have unique products that satisfy the new value that they are bringing to the table. So let me use a product to make the illustration, so that I can bring clarity to my thoughts. Right? For example, in Kano right now, there is a assembly of bicycles that are electrical in nature, right? And these bicycles are used for distribution, for logistics within a certain environment, so that SMEs that are impacted by the cost of logistics to distribute maybe their pap or their yogurt or their small products, they can manage cost of logistics or fueling for their standard tricycles or motorcycles that are used. With these bicycles,
is for other SMEs, right? So can you maybe identify some of the key sectors experiencing that growth in the emerging markets currently in Nigeria?
Okay, so I'll talk on the agricultural sector, I'll talk about the energy, and I'll talk about fashion. So for agriculture, we've seen that there's a lot of commodity trading that is going on now, creating new markets for SMEs, creating new businesses for SMEs. It's not longer focused on only food commodities, which we are used to, which government usually supports. The commodity trading is now focused on non-food based exports, which is creating more interest of younger people in the agricultural sector because they command a better value as compared to the food-based agriculture. And then more SMEs are able to create platforms for these commodity trading that are tech enabled. This trading is also making entrepreneurs to begin to leverage technology in monitoring their farmland, utilizing sensors, utilizing more of irrigation that reduces the use of water, that is more precise. And then we're having more drones within the agricultural space. And those kind of non-food agricultural space are like the wood, the paper, recycling of waste paper, you have more drone pilots, so which they use both in the agricultural space and also in the oil and gas space and in the you have people that are now focused on energy efficient wind turbines. People are now focused more on, SMEs are now looking at opportunities in wind turbines, modular wind turbines that are not expensive, putting it as a station to service clusters. To say you have a cluster of shoemakers within an area, or cobblers within an area. They use that wind turbine to a lot of solar farms coming up. Accessories for this energy system in the country to have new markets, to start new businesses, and to expand what they do. So it gives them a better opportunity to spread their business prospects and tentacles. Then when you look also at the fashion industry, because of the crisis in some of these countries, there's pressure for cheaper, more mass production where factories for t-shirts, garments, beddings are being established within the Southwest that are into monogramming, material manufacturing. These are new businesses, new and emerging markets that we were not really focused on, that are coming up and creating good source of revenue for SMEs in the country.
Thank you. Thank you for staying with us. You're watching Ways. And if you just tuned in, we are discussing emerging market opportunities for SMEs with our guest, Victoria Madedo, a business development consultant. Please let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 08180384663. Our phone lines are now open. Please call us on 070-2500-7749. I'll take it again, 070-2500-7749. Glory, do you have a question for our guests?
Yes, thank you very much. I hear what you say, economic growth. So I want to know, do you think the government is providing enough support to SMEs and providing enough support to SMEs looking to harness some of these opportunities in emerging markets? Because again, I'll give an example. You talked a lot about agriculture, but I also know there was a time which there was this program to like facilitate export. I went to one of those seminars where the former CBN was a speaker in one of the seminar, and was talking about how it's going to be easy for those who are exporting agricultural products to enhance or facilitate their export activities. But I know most of the feedback I got, or like people that commented on some of these initiatives, said that the government always comes up with this, okay, they're supporting SMEs, they're doing this, but they never see it being practicalized, or they never experience it. So do you think, what are the role you think, or what role is the government playing towards like enhancing the harnessing of opportunities within this emerging market for SMEs?
Okay, so I'll start by saying that the government has no business in business. They are just enablers. And most of the structures that they have brought onto the fore, a poverty alleviation scheme. So most times the wrong set of people go for those interventions. For export, there is a minimum criteria you need to have before you can even start having the conversation on interventions from the government. Most times, people are not ready. So by the time they start making inquiries, it's almost like as if it is an impossible task.
Okay, so
there are several interventions that the government has brought forth. Currently, there's one that they call the Real Sector Grant by the Federal Ministry of Trade and Investment, and it's through a portal. You need to know where you fall into. Are you a nano business? And be realistic with your request. Are you a micro business, a small, medium? Get a consultant that will help profile you before you begin to have the conversation on intervention. Then you will not be caught off guard and feel left out from whatever structure the government is putting into the fore.
Okay, so how then, I hear you said they are not ready. So that's the part of the reason why most SMEs seem not to have access to some of these facilities being put in place by the government. So now this is not the focus on the government. How do we, because part of the importance of this sort of conversation is just to enlighten people and keep them well informed. So how do we then make them ready? Is it a role of the media, or what are the steps we can take to like make sure that these facilities being put in place by the government, people are ready or have the criteria to be able to access it?
So one of the things I would suggest that ways to do is have the conversation about business readiness. The media has a serious role to play in enlightening entrepreneurs about structuring their businesses. Why it is important for them to register their business as a legal entity, what kind of registration is available, why they should run their businesses via a legal entity account, so that their revenue is going to the account of their under their business name, while they should register their brand with the Federal Ministry of Trade and Investment, those little things, why they should have bookkeeping. There are a lot of businesses that are doing huge revenue. Their business and their cash flow is strong, but they cannot access credits or they cannot access new markets. They cannot bid for good contracts, even though they have the capacity, because they don't have this simple structure like a business name that is registered with CAC, like a audited account, like an audited account, or even a simple management account that they can use to tell, this is how much I earn every month in sales. This is how much I have as my gross profits, and this is what is my net profit. This is my average selling price and the average quantity I sell. They don't have a record that they can keep that figure at the tip of their finger. These little things that seem not to matter, that feels like is a lot of structure, are some of the things that will make some exporters not to get purchase order from companies outside the shores of this country. Because when you are doing revenue based on your registered business name, there is a foolproof identity for your business as separate from who you are. I can go to a credit bureau to check what capacity you have in terms of your repayment structure. Can I trust you? I can go to the CAC to check what your legal form is like. Are you filing your returns? Do you follow standard structure and procedure in your country? These are little things that international buyers check when they are doing due diligence for any business. They must carry out due diligence process before they would engage you as a commodity exporter to them in their country. So yes, SMEs need to intentionally put themselves out there using the right structure, and the media needs to educate them that this structure is not a way to tax you or a way for you to spend so much money or belabor you, but it's a way to ensure that you are seen as a responsible business that someone can work with. Multinational, bilateral organizations can work with and with confidence, no matter how small your business is.
Wow, I really like that you really broke down the structure part of it, because that's where, and I also a little bit like, especially when she talked about like the tax aspect, because most of the feedback I've gotten, most SMEs like are shying away from that taxes, tax burden. So that's them to like do it by the books or the structure. But I like the fact that she's able to say it, or I like the fact that you're able to say it, so they can actually see the importance of actually having that structure, because when you're trying to shy away from one thing, you don't know that you're actually losing out on the other things.
Yeah. So I think I would like to ask one last question, right? So what are some of the strategies that you think that SMEs can, engage in to actually expand their reach into new regions? Because the truth is that a lot of SMEs, sometimes they're just, streamlined to just one part. They're not trying to extend their tentacles. So what are some of the strategies that you think that SMEs can use to actually expand their reach into new regions?
The first, and for me the most important, is create a network. Join people. There are several networks in this country, and people leverage the importance for survival of any business in this country. You cannot do it alone. Don't be an island. We shy away from collaboration in this country. I don't want somebody to steal my business idea. I don't want somebody to do this. I don't want to. If you look at other countries that have good SME structures, like Brazil, like India, you see that they have a strong network. They have a strong collaboration structure within the SME space. Secondly, I'd say go for conferences so that you can create network, learn new things, know what is happening within your sector, understand and interact with people at those conferences. You see that what you have as a waste in your factory or in your business might be the money spinner. Let me give you an example. When you make soya oil, you throw away the soya bean meal, or you give it to feed millers, you sell it to feed millers, they'll buy it. Do you know that the soya bean meal commands more value than the soya oil? The same thing in milk. The fat in milk commands more value than the milk itself. So it is in going to conferences, going for trainings, that you are able to learn these values within the value chain that you operate in. So as a business, don't stay on your own. Don't stand by yourself. Don't struggle in silence. Network, communicate, and collaborate.
Thank you very much, Victoria. You've been an amazing guest, but we have to end the show now. You've been a very amazing guest. So I think a few takeaways from here for everybody can shine. I mean, the sky is very big enough for everyone to fly. Collaborate, network.